Scary urban legends and myths are small stories that have, well, always sort of appealed to me. Even though they used to shatter my bones when I was a kid, I loved reading through them to not only give myself a scare, but my friends as well. Today for you guys, I'm going to be going through 10 of the scariest urban legends. Number 10. The Slit-Mouthed Woman, a Japanese and Chinese urban legend. A girl called Kuchi Sakiona was married to a samurai. One day she cheated on her husband with a younger, more attractive man, only for her husband to come home and find her betrayal. Her husband was furious and in a state of rage grabbed his sword and slit her mouth from one side of her jawbone to the other. Some say that this woman was cursed to never die, and that others have said that they've seen this woman wandering the streets with a face mask on, only to ask people if she is pretty. When the target answers positively, she rips her face mask off to reveal her brutal wounds, and asks the same question again. If the target screams or no longer finds her pretty, it is said that she'll slit the victim's throat with a pair of scissors. Number 9. The White Death. This story is about a little girl in Scotland who absolutely hated her life so much that she wanted every trace of her existence to be destroyed. The little girl ended up committing suicide, and not long after, her family found her dead body. Shortly after the little girl's death, each one of her family members died one after another in mysterious, brutal ways, such as limbs being completely torn apart mysteriously. According to this legend, if you involve yourself too much in the White Death, the girl's ghost might just come for you, as the goal was to make sure nobody knew about her. Number 8. The Way to Hell. In 1989, Russian scientists in Siberia drilled a massive borehole deep into the Earth's crust. The drilling of the borehole ended up a massive failure as the drill fell through one of the cavities as the hole was being dug up. Scientists tried to send multiple pieces of equipment to see what was down there, however that proved impossible as the temperatures inside of the borehole reached greater than 1000 degrees Celsius. Although the scientists couldn't get any visuals of what was down there, it was the sounds from the equipment that it picked up that shocked them the most. There was only 17 seconds of audio, but many believe that they could hear the screams of the damned from hell. It got worse as witnesses who decided to stay around the borehole later on that night explained how they saw a massive winged demon emerge from the depths. Number 7. Slender Man. So by now everyone should know of the infamous Slender Man, as he's become an internet sort of popularity over the past couple of years. Slender Man is a tall faceless figure with multiple tentacles that can extend out of his back. He's always wearing a suit and can generally be sighted around groups of children. According to many, Slender Man has apparently been sighted in Germany back in the 1600s. Many people also claim that they have seen Slender Man in an array of different old-fashioned photos and different sightings in America, UK, and Russia in the mid-1900s. Slender Man has also apparently been involved with many different child disappearances as well. Number 6. Humans can lick too. One night, a young girl's parents had gone out for the night for a few hours, leaving the girl at home with the protection of her dog. Before leaving, her parents instructed her to close all of the windows and doors once they left. Shortly after her parents left, the young girl went around the house and closed all of the windows and doors. She made her way down to the basement to close the window, however the basement window wouldn't fully close properly. After trying and trying, she managed to get it shut, however it wouldn't lock, so she just left it. She then decided to head to bed at midnight snuggling up with her dog. She suddenly woke up at 2:30 a.m. hearing a slight dripping noise. She decided to ignore it. However, she was nervous and put her hand down under her bed so that the dog would lick her hand for the reassurance of protection and comfort. She once again was awoken by the dripping at 3:30 a.m. thinking it could be a broken tap. However, once again, she fell back asleep. For the very third time, she was once again woken at 6 a.m. and she had finally had enough. She made her way to the bathroom to investigate, and to her relief, she found her dog hung up and skinned, and written on the wall in blood said, "People can lick too." Number 5. Grave cages. Back in the Victorian era, many people were worried about the deceased coming back to life in the form of a zombie or possibly a vampire. To ensure this wouldn't happen, they made iron cages around many burial sites to keep the wandering dead at bay. What's interesting about this urban legend is that quite possibly the reasoning behind it might be a hoax, but many different burial sites to this day actually have these cages centered around them. Number 4. Dead body under your mattress. A couple end up checking into a hotel for the night. When they get into their room, they notice a foul odor lingering around, so they end up getting the staff to investigate where the stench was coming from. After endless searching, they decided to lift the mattress off the bed, only to find the rotting body of a young girl who had been shoved into the box spring. The scary thing about this urban legend is that it's actually happened multiple times in America, including Las Vegas, Kansas City, and Atlantic City. Number 3. Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light? 2 college roommates were studying hard for an exam the next day. One of the roommates decided to head back to her room as she was tired and wanted some sleep. The other roommate decided to stay back and do some extra studying. An hour passed and the girl realized that she needed a book for her studies, so she made her way back to the room. When getting to the room, she left the light off so that she wouldn't wake her friend. Rummaging around in the room, she couldn't find the book and whispered to her friend if she could turn on the lights. No response, only heavy breathing. She sighed and continued to look. Once again, she asked the same question but only heard heavy breathing. Not thinking anything of it, she continued to search. She eventually found the book in the darkness and left the room to return to her studies. The next day, she was sitting in the exam, however she was worried as her roommate wasn't there. She made her way back to the room and turned on the lights, only to find her roommate lying on the bed in a pool of blood, brutally murdered. She turned to the left to find writing on the wall in blood saying, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light?" Number 2. Polybius. Polybius was an arcade machine that was unknowingly distributed into a number of different Oregon arcades in a suburb of Portland in the 1980s. It is said that many kids who played this video game ended up with extreme night terrors, amnesia, and bad nausea. After about a month, all of the Polybius machines mysteriously disappeared. Some say these machines were part of a government conspiracy, and what's interesting is, in an episode of The Simpsons, in a scene where Bart enters an arcade, we can see a Polybius machine with the writing saying it's property of the US government. Number 1. The Kidney Thief. One night a businessman goes to a bar for a few drinks. A young woman sits down next to him and they get chatting. The woman buys the man a drink, and from that moment he couldn't remember anything of that evening. He eventually wakes up the next morning to find himself in a bathtub of ice and an incision that had been stitched up where his kidney would be. There was also a note to the left of him saying, "You need urgent medical help. Call 911. He ended up calling 911 and explained his situation. They asked him if there was a tube sticking out of his lower back. He responds yes. The 911 operator says, "Stay where you are, there's an ambulance on its way. You are a victim of organ theft." So anyway guys, that is 10 of the scariest urban legends. I know that there's plenty more out there, but these are the ones that stood out to me the most. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. I just want to say thank you guys so much for 20,000 subscribers. It really does mean a lot to me, and it's so awesome to see that this channel is growing at the rate it is. Definitely puts a smile on my face. So if you guys could please like this video, helps the channel out a lot and it helps the video get out there. And yeah, but anyway guys, I will be uploading to this channel more frequently. Things have changed as far as my status goes, so yeah, I'm gonna be uploading to this channel and probably focusing on it a lot more now. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.